Hey guys, so I am back. Today I'm going to be doing a book review for you and I'm excited to get this one out because I don't even think the book is out yet. It might be coming out today or maybe in a couple of days, so I really wanted to share this with you before it comes out. So I'm going to be doing a book review of Lucky You by Erika Carter. So this book was something I was extremely excited about, but didn't really kind of meet those expectations. I'm disappointed in the book. The more I think about it, the more possibilities I am seeing and the more I'm kind of getting more intrigued. Maybe thinking I need to do a reread of the book. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what your thoughts are about it. So let's get started and talk about Lucky You. So I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. And I know on Goodreads, the reviews are not too great for this book. So I kind of wanted to just come and give my opinions that are both good and a little negative. But I think they kind of balance out. So yeah, let me kind of give you a brief description of what the book is about. It follows these 2 females, Ellie, Rachel, and Chloe, who decide to go off the grid. One of the characters, Rachel, has a boyfriend whose grandparents used to live in this rural house, and now his parents own it but don't live there, so he's kind of taken over and they kind of are just living off the land and not really connecting with media or other people, so as a way to live in health and cleanse themselves. So the girls kind of go as a way to escape their current problems. They're kind of going through this period in their life where they're very stuck. They've graduated college, not really sure what to do with their life next. And so going off the grid is a way for them to kind of reinvent themselves and start over fresh. But as the book progresses, that reality becomes less and less true, and it's basically can you really escape your habits and escape the troubles of life? So I have to say that at first I was very interested in the characters. I liked how immensely flawed they were because it made them very human, and they were just very multi-dimensional, and I like that about the characters. The way the bits of information that were given is a little indiscreet. It's kind of trickled in throughout the story, and I enjoyed that, but I feel like I had to make a lot of my own guesses about these characters, which I didn't really enjoy. I kind of wanted her to tell me who these characters, or show me who these characters were, where I feel like I kind of had to guess a lot of the time. So there's that. And as the story goes on, there's not a lot going on in the plot, I guess I could say. And if you're looking for a story that is plot driven or has a lot of action going on, this is not the story for you. This is very much a character driven story. And typically I don't have a problem with character driven stories, but I think you have to kind of enjoy the characters or at least be interested in knowing what their outcome is. And by the middle of the book, I was not really interested in any of the characters' stories or where their stories were going. I kind of could figure what was going to happen, but didn't really care to really go into what was happening. I was very close actually to DNFing this book just because I don't know, it just didn't interest me at all really. And the characters that I were most intrigued with kind of get dropped off towards the end of the story, and we're only told the final parts of their stories through the perspectives of basically the 2 main characters in the book. So that I didn't really enjoy, but I think I get what her message is when she was trying to write it, and I do appreciate the kind of message that she's showing, and I do appreciate how flawed her characters were. I think that's a really interesting thing, because I think we're in a world now where we're always trying to put out our best selves, and being able to see people that are truly relatable, that mess up more, if not as often as we do as humans, was very refreshing and nice to see. I just was not a fan of the characters, and it wasn't necessarily because they were horrible or because they did really bad things or made mistakes. I just didn't like them as characters. I don't know. And I was intrigued by the character Audrey, though. That's Rachel's boyfriend, who kind of initiates this whole going off the grid, living in health kind of thing. And he's constantly like talking about how he's going to write this book about their experiences living off the grid, and how more like rejuvenated they are after this experience, but never puts anything down on paper, never really even writes a word or documents anything. So his character was very interesting to me, because it kind of represents my generation, or maybe a younger generation, but how we're constantly always talking about these grand things that we want to do but never really get them accomplished. And that kind of stuck with me personally, because I feel like there's a lot of things I want to do, like even write my own book or just be a writer in general, but I rarely get the motivation or time to like actually do any of those things. So it kind of like struck a chord with me there, but he's not really one of the main characters, so we don't really get to see him as much, and I feel like that was kind of lacking, because I really actually enjoyed him as a character. This book was also like characterized as like deadpan humor, and I did not see any real humor. Maybe if you're into like really dark humor, because I feel like this book just goes down a very dark and gloomy hole, and it's not I guess it's not a very good outlook on human and society, but I feel like you come back trying to like challenge what this book is saying, like I'm not like this, I can make myself learn from my mistakes and that sort of thing. But yeah, I feel like this book is just a little depressing, and I don't mind depressing, and I don't think every story has to have like a nice, neat ending that's good. There's very little hope in this book, I guess, and that was kind of where I'm like, it's just depressing. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think we need to read stuff that's challenging, that makes us feel emotional in different ways other than like happy. So yeah, so I don't want to say that I didn't like this book. I just don't think it really was what I was expecting, or really meshed with what I typically read, because I kind of was expecting it more to be about them living off the grid. Like, what was that experience really like? And it kind of skirts the experience for the more internal conflicts in each of the girls. So we do see what it's like living off the grid, but not in much detail. So that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of what I was expecting, and didn't really see that. So yeah, I feel like I'm rambling now, because I don't know, this book stuck with me. Like, I'm still thinking about this book and how I feel about it, so that obviously it says something. Like, I definitely feel this book is worth reading, but I think it's gonna take a very specific person to really enjoy the book. But I feel like everybody can take something from it, but not really necessarily enjoy it. So I don't know. So I got this obviously for like book of the month, so it was part of my subscription. I don't know though if I would have picked it up otherwise. Like, if you pick this up in the library, if you can get your hands on it for free or low cost, I would definitely recommend checking this book out. This is definitely those books where you lend. I don't think I'm gonna end up keeping the book. I'm deciding still if I want to reread it, but the fact that it just took me so long to get through, I don't know. And it's not a very long book, so I don't know. So yeah, but yeah, I definitely think you can gain something from it. So if you do want to check it out but have been deterred by a lot of the bad reviews, I would still recommend that you pick it up because you might enjoy it. But if it's not something you were interested in before or intrigued about, I don't know if it's really worth the time. If you can get it like at the library, yeah, go for it. But I don't think it's something, if you were not initially interested in this book, that you should pick up. But yeah, so that is Lucky You by Erika Carter. Despite how I didn't really enjoy this book, I'm still kind of curious to see what else she'll write next. So I will probably check out her next book. And if I don't like that one, I don't know, but like, so I'm not deterred from her writing or anything like that. I just don't think this book was really meant for me. But yeah. So that is my review of Lucky You by Erika Carter. If you read this book, got it in book of the month too, let me know what your feelings were for it. Did you enjoy it? Did you have any like similar issues with the characters or just the plot in general? And if you're interested in reading it, let me know. I kind of want to see why people are also intrigued by this book, because definitely the aspect of going off the grid was what like really got me interested in it, but I feel like that was lacking in the actual execution of the book. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think about Lucky You, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks, bye.